everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to create a card for Pretty Pink Posh. We are going to be using some of the brand new March release items. I want to be using this stamp set. This is called the Easter Circles. A lot of fun elements in here. And then this is the Easter Circles coordinating die. And then I'm also going to be using, this is the floral background stencil. So let's jump in and create a card. My card actually today is for an Instagram hop. So if you guys want to join in the fun, head on over to my Instagram page or Pretty Pink Posh's Instagram page. It's always nice to start at the beginning. And so I encourage you guys to check it out. And details for that too will also be over on my blog, and I'll link that down below. So let's jump in and do a little bit of stamping. Easter circles are so fun. You have the bunny, the basket, some Easter eggs. You have the cute little daffodil, and then you have a little egg with the little chickie. And then you also have beautiful florals. For today's card, I'm going to be using the daffodil. And we're going to go ahead and stamp that. Just going to put it on acrylic block. I'm going to use Memento ink because we're going to color in our flower with Copic markers. I love daffodils. It seems like they pop up quicker than tulips. Okay, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to just do a little bit of quick coloring. It shouldn't take too long. But I'm going to be using more, instead of a bright yellow, I'm going to use more of a toned down yellow for my daffodil. I wanted a color that would kind of coordinate with some cardstock that I'm going to be using for my project. This is the color of cardstock, so I think that's going to work out pretty good. Okay. I'm going to add wire 24 for a little bit of highlighting. And then I'm going to bring in wire 23 and just blend those in, which is pretty close to 24. And then I'll blend them all together. I'm going to do some simple coloring for my leaves using YG61. And then I'll do a little highlighting with my 63. And that is it. I do want to go over the outside edge of my daffodil with a little bit of blue. This is BG10. Kind of very subtle blue. And then I'm going to take my colorless blender and I'm going to fade that blue out just so it transitions into the white area a little bit nicer. So we have a nice little fade. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and take the coordinating die. Let's zoom back out here. And I'm going to take, there's two circles in here. One has stitch detail and one is just a regular straight edge. I'm going to go ahead and use the straight edge die and we'll cut that out. Okay, and then with the stitched, I'm going to use some pink cardstock, and then for the And for the yellow, I'm going to use this one, and then I'm bringing in some pastel kind of a pink cardstock, and we'll die cut out the circle with that. Okay, I'm going to take my flower. We're going to pop this up on our pink cardstock. Just centering this. And then I'll do the same, oopsie, with my pink circle. We'll add that to our decorative border, which is really pretty. Okay, now what we're going to do is create a little bit of a background with our stencil, but before we do that, I'm going to take my card base, which is an A2 size card base, and I'm bringing in my eyelet border die set. I'm taking this one here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up on the bottom, and I'm going to basically take about 1/2 of an inch off of my card front panel with my eyelet border. So I'll run this, well, of course you have to open it up so you don't go through both, but I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. Okay, so we have a pretty border on our card base. Now what we're going to do next is I'm going to take some of my post-it note tape. I'm going to mask off the very top, although I don't think I need this, but just in case. It's always nice to have that there just in case. I'm going to take my stencil, which I already put pixie spray behind. I'm going to add that directly to my card base. And then for my background, I'm going to be using some scattered straw distress oxide ink. I think this is pretty close to that cardstock color that I used. And what I'm going to do is just create, basically go around my card front, but not around the edges. You'll see here. I'll start in the middle, and I'm just doing some light shading. I just want a soft effect for the background. And I don't want to go all the way to the edge. I think that's going to work out. So we have a nice soft looking background. And I don't think I needed that. I'm going to put that right back. Okay. Now after we have our card base done, to fill in the bottom area of my card base, I'm going to use some more of that yellow colored cardstock, but this time I'm going to flip open my card base, and I use my tape runner along the bottom edge, and then I'll take my cardstock, line it up at the very bottom of my card base, and then I'll just lightly tack that closed. And then I have a little excess overhanging, so I'll just trim that off. Now I wanted to add a little bit of springiness to my card, so next what we're going to do is I'm going to die cut out some leaves using the fall foliage. I'm going to be using some green cardstock and some berries, and we'll die cut out a pink one in here. Okay, I just die cut out and put together a few of my fall foliage leaves, and we're going to do a little tucking. So I'm just going to add one foam adhesive behind my circle. This way I could tuck some more underneath there. And I do want this off to the side. And you know what? Before I add my foliage, I do want to stamp my sentiment. I'm going to pull in a sentiment from the Easter sign stamp set. I really like the Welcome Spring, and I think that's going to go perfect with my project today. So just pick that up with the block, and I'm going to stamp with my VersaFine ink. Stamp it over here. I think that works lovely. So I notice we have everything off to the left, so this is where I can put my foliage on the right. And I think that's going to make it a little balanced. That's a little bit long, so I'm going to do a little trimming. And I'm just going to arrange these, and I think that's going to work out just lovely. Now, last but not least, I do want to bring in some of my pearls. These are brand new too. These are the limeade pearls. I'm going to spread out a little bit of that green. These are flat back pearls, and they're in a variety of sizes, which makes it really nice. That looks really pretty. And before I call this card done, I am going to go over my daffodil there with my glossy accent. And then I think that looks lovely. And that is my project for today. Nice spring card. I thank you so much for joining me. I hope you can join in the Instagram hop. I wish you a lovely day, and we will see you soon.